When I look back over the years, one thing that I realized, the thing that makes or breaks projects, it's relationships. Now, when I sit down with my clients, I said, tell me a little bit about the work that you do. Tell me about your challenges. What makes it so hard? The answer is resounding and immediate and consistent. They say people. And ain't that the truth, right? There's nothing like people to mess with a perfectly good project plan.
Andrea Howe has worked with some of the world's leading organizations and companies.
Key to transforming your experience of stakeholder relationships, I would assert, is trust. Consider how much easier it is to have a conversation with a customer about scope creep when that customer trusts you. And not far from trust is the subject of influence, because trust has a tremendous impact of influence. Think about the last time you were truly open to the ideas of somebody who you didn't trust. So here are our goals for today. With that one issue and that one stakeholder in mind, we're going to do three things. First of all, by 1 p.m. and the time you walk out, you will walk out knowing the 4 essential elements of trustworthiness. You're going to walk out understanding what I call the secret weapon of influence. And you're also going to walk out appreciating the paradox of trust and being able to put that to work. There are actually 2 paradoxes I'm going to share with you today. Now, here's a note to start with. None of this is rocket science. It's not nearly as complicated as project management. In fact, it's appallingly simple. The thing is, it just isn't easy.
Andrea Howe has worked with such world-class organizations.
Now, I happen to list these 3 examples because these are things I struggle with all the time. After 20 years in the consulting industry, I still struggle. I love to be liked, and sometimes it stops me from saying what I need to say or saying what I need to say as quickly as possible. I love being the kid with the right answer first in the room. I'm constantly working on reining myself in so I give space for other people. So these are things I struggle with. You may struggle with the same things, you may struggle with different things. I think it's part of the human condition to struggle with these things, and the point is they impact our perceived trustworthiness by other people. So it behooves us to be very aware, to be incredibly self-aware, and to manage ourselves well all the time. And then the fill-in for credibility is you can answer direct questions with direct answers. You can do that within the first 30 seconds of your first meeting ever with a particular stakeholder, a sponsor, a customer, a vendor, a whomever it is. Now, the funny thing about that is that it takes some courage to do that. Because a lot of times, good people like me, my colleagues at China Lake, we want to spin, not because we like being dishonest, but because we hate to disappoint. So a client asks a direct question and says, Mike, what experience do you have with service-oriented architecture? And he knows the answer is 0, and he knows that a $40 million project hinges on his ability to say yes. What's he likely to do? What we all do? Well, not exactly, but I've got this and this and this, and it kind of equates to that, and it's virtually the same thing, so we're really okay. And yet it's not answering a direct question with a direct answer. And here's your first paradox of trust. The thing that you're most afraid to say is likely what will build the most trust.
Andrea Howe has worked with some of the world's leading organizations.
Do you have any idea of the relief that the person who asked the question is likely to feel? Particularly, the more senior they are, the more spin they tend to get. You all work with C-level clients. They don't get a lot of honesty from a lot of people. And what you've done, what Mike has done in that moment, is established himself as somebody who's different and courageous and willing to tell the truth. I said in the beginning, the magic of successful project management lies in mastering the fundamentals of trust and influence. It's simple. It's not always easy. And yet, isn't it often the simple things in life that make the greatest difference? Like casting a pebble in a pond, there's a ripple effect that goes far and wide. And trust and influence have the ability to have that ripple effect in your projects. It's been an honor to be with you all today. Happy rippling. Please give yourselves a round of applause.